It's only taken CG about a year to get there, but we finally do have an event that is geared specifically around GL Ahsoka Tano and gives us some really good rewards. The Coven of Shadows event is now live and will be recurring once a month. I've had a lot of people ask me though, should I be going for GL Ahsoka Tano now, or should I be going for Pirate King Hondo, who has Smuggler's Run 3? I think it's a little bit nuanced, and I think it deserves a bit of a discussion. So let's have a chinwag, you and I. Welcome back, Holotable heroes, to another video with me, your boy Scribe. How the devil are we all doing? I hope you are having a good time on this fine and fantastic Sunday. So Coven of Shadows, ladies and gentlemen. This is the new, they call it a special event. It is essentially kind of like the Duel of the Fates assault battle. Not like the old assault battles like this Fanatical Devotion. These have got like the slightly better rewards. This is going to be coming around once a month. We have that confirmed from CG, and it can give us some pretty nifty rewards over here. Let's take a look at them. The first two tiers. First tier, you only need to have Padawan Sabine Wren, and this can be done at about Gear 8, Gear 7. I've done that on my alt account, which is a completely free-to-play account. Just 5 stars, I think 5 stars, 3 or 4 stars in fact, 4 stars. And Gear 8, able to get through this first tier of the event at 3 stars. What this will give you is 7 shards of one of 3 characters that are required for the Spectre team. That's going to be either Sabine Wren, Hu Yang, or it's going to be General Syndulla, and they give you 2 million credits to go alongside it. On the whole, not a particularly valuable tier of the event. It's not bad, it's still free, and it requires very, very low tiers of investment. Tier 2 over here, as you can see, you do need a 7-star Padawan Sabine Wren. I am not sure on the barrier to entry. I've only done this one on my main account, and on my main account, my Padawan Sabine Wren, she's Relic 8, so, and with good mods, so it's just a case of I'm going to bowl through it. Now this one does give 10 to 15 shards of either Hu Yang or of General Syndulla. They've obviously removed the Padawan Sabine Wren because you've got her at 7 stars, you don't need her shards. That's a nice little touch. And then you get 15 of each of the Chirotech and 2 million currency. Now that's a pretty good tier, it's okay. Getting more Chirotech is always a good thing, and all you'll need to have is a 7-star Padawan Sabine Wren. They say, do they say what the, no, it doesn't say recommended gearing levels or anything like that, but I imagine that you probably want to be in relics to be safe. That's a pretty big investment for not a great turnaround. This is kind of more like rewarding you for already investing. And then the final tier. Now the final tier is the big one, obviously. This one is the one that requires a Relic 9 GL Ahsoka, and that's where all the good rewards are. Now you've got some of the high tier signal data, which is great, and then lesser of the others. Well, more of the others, sorry, lesser of the top tier. That in itself is pretty good. You can get 5 droid brains, you can get 5 of the Girder keypads, and the rest of this stuff. Now, you do not get all of this. You get basically either 5 droid brains or you get 5 Girder keypads. That is a toss-up, and I think it might be one of these 3 here, the aero magnifiers, the impulse detectors, and the Zin Biddles at a value of 10, and then you get 5 million currency. Now, these are good rewards. I'm not going to deny that. I won't take it away, okay? Those are good rewards, and they're great if you've got GL Ahsoka Tano. However, in my opinion, it is not worth you bull rushing your way to GL Ahsoka Tano just to gain the event, this particular event. Honestly, if you do not have Padawan Obi-Wan and Master Qui-Gon Jinn at Relic 9 for Duel of the Fates, you are better served doing that. Okay, in my opinion, you have more tiers of rewards in that event, and you get the same stuff essentially, and the refresh rate is cheaper. Okay, you also don't get any crystals in this tier. In the Duel of the Fates, it's 1,000 crystals, basically 999 crystals to refresh those tiers, and you get 100 crystals back. Yes, it requires 2 Relic 9s instead of 1, so that is the big difference, and you want to have a Relic 9 GL Ahsoka Tano anyway because she's a galactic legend. She's also a tank. It's a good investment to have regardless. But overall, I would say that Padawan Sabine Wren, you know, that's fine to invest in. GL Ahsoka Tano is fine to invest in, but the Duel of the Fates characters is a better overall investment. This is still worth doing, and it's great to have. It's really, really good to have, because this is just more and more stuff for people that are getting the good units in the game. They should have had this on release, in my opinion. You know, if GL Ahsoka Tano dropped with this, I would have been so much happier. But hey, it is what it is. Now, Smuggler's Run 3. Let's have a little talk about Smuggler's Run 3 and let's compare and contrast between what do you get with Smuggler's Run 3 and what do you get with GL Ahsoka Tano. So Smuggler's Run 3 is coming to the game. That's the one that does require GL Hondo, and it is going to be running every 2 weeks on a Friday, which is great. So the frequency is huge. All right, so let's go down and take a look at the Smuggler's Run 3. So there are 2 tiers, and my understanding is that you can actually run both. We don't know how many instances of each there are. Is it 1 or 2? Normally Smuggler's Run is 2 sims, basically. And this first tier is basically a redo of what you get with Smuggler's Run 2. Okay, so Smuggler's Run 2 gives the exact same rewards as that. So everything that you get with Jabba, you can do it at the Relic 3 tier for the Hondo tier. And then on the Extremely Deadly, the R9 one, with a release date yet to be confirmed, it's supposedly sometime in November, we get basically just more of the same, which is really good because Smuggler's Run 2 is already the best modding event in the game. So good for your mods in order to hit those high speed rolls. Having those recalibration materials is absolutely imperative, and this is the best source for it. So this coming twice a week is really good, and you get some stuff that's just kind of like, who really cares, right? You are getting 5 dots speed mods, random speed mods, getting 12 of them. That's quite nice. Getting 5 dot speed mods, speed sets, it's always good. Honestly, I'm not that crazy about this because usually random mods, they're just kind of okay. I wish we would change these out for random speed mods, or it doesn't even have to be speed sets in my opinion. If it was just random types of mods, but they all have guaranteed either 5 or 6 on the speed secondary, that would be incredible. That would be so good. That I would be actually happy about, right? Or even just give us 12 mods that are gold and all have 5 or 6 as the starting speed. That would be great, because that gives you a really good chance at just getting some really good speed mods really quickly, right? So this over here is hands down, bar none, the best modding event in the game. And it's by quite some distance. Now, unfortunately, we haven't had the confirmation of when it's coming. We haven't had a confirmation of how many sims it is. We haven't had it 100% confirmed that you get to run both of the tiers. Okay? We've had Meathead say it's his understanding that you can run both, but until it's in the game, I would say pinch of salt, grab that, take it, hold on to it for dear life, because there's no point in us making assumptions, guys, okay? So with that in mind, if we were to compare what does Coven of the Shadows bring to the game and what does Smuggler's Run 3 could bring to the game, you'll notice that they are very different events. One is more about trying to help you get access to more relic levels, and the other one is about try to get more modding in the game, okay? They're both super important. But we are comparing oranges to apples here, all right? My look on it is you will want both anyway. You will never have enough mods, and you will never have enough Gerda keypads and droid brains and aeromags and zimbiddles and impulse detectors unless you are a ginormous whale, Moby Dick, swimming in a tiny little fish pond, all right? Both of them are good. In my personal opinion, though, you got to have a swig of tea to make sure that the point gets across. In my personal opinion, most people are better served going for Pirate King Hondo. My argument for this is because, one, I feel like the event to get more mods is slightly better. It's not as sexy. Don't get me wrong. I know modding ain't sexy unless you get turned on by that sort of thing. But mods still really do matter, and it is still very difficult to close that mod gap, especially if you are, trying to punch up in GAC. Trying to catch up on the mod game is a very difficult thing to do, and it makes everything in the game easier. Mods will never disappear, will never be wrong. You will always be able to take a good mod and equip it to another character. Raid comes out, you're short on mods. Maybe if you had more mod calibration mats, maybe if you spent more time running on those mods, you'll have a better time with it. Events that come around, GL events, like I said, raids and any future events that CG might bring out, you'll always be able to get your mods. Help you out in doing that. Even Conquest and stuff like that. More mods makes the game easier, right? But it's a little bit deeper than that again, okay? Because the characters and the teams that you get out of it. GL Ahsoka Tano is still mediocre, I would say, at best when it comes to PvP performance. She's great in PvE. Take her into Rise of the Empire TB, right? She's just a full auto team. She's great. She's really fantastic. In PvP, she is joint at the hip to Ezra Bridger Exile, and Ezra Bridger Exile, particularly in 3v3, is usually better just stripped out and thrown into another team, like your GL Ray team, for example. Even to a certain extent, JMK or even JML are better served than using it with GL Ahsoka Tano. 5v5, there's a little more nuance there. He's still pretty good with GL Ahsoka Tano, but still, he brings a lot more to other teams. The only place that team really does shine is in Territory Wars. In Territory Wars with Padawan Sabine Wren's Omicron, a full Spectre team with Ezra Bridger Exile, that is a scary good team. Especially if you've got both of the Omnis. Hera's, and if you have Padawan Sabine Wren's, particularly Padawan Sabine Wren's, that team is actually a force to be reckoned with. Now, I understand, not everybody loves TW. Not everybody loves TW. But I have to put out these arguments here, okay? So who's on the other side? Pirate King Hondo. It's not even close, guys. Pirate King's Hondo's team is just infinitely better than GL Ahsoka Tano's. It just is. It just is. Like, he is scary good right now, especially with the current Datacron plays and set. He's not tied to SME. In fact, in RTW, we don't use SME. All right? We don't even use SME in Pirate King Hondo's team. So he's not needed there. So it's easier, more accessible. In TW, amazing. Just as amazing as GL Ahsoka Tano. He's a scary, scary team. In TB, just as good. He's another full auto team. He can do some of the hardest missions in TB, and he comes out quite literally laughing. All right? So when I add everything together and I think, what does GL Ahsoka bring to the game? What does Pirate King Hondo bring to the game? And what do their events bring to you and your account? It seems like a real clear winner for me is just Pirate King Hondo. He's also got the raid currently, and getting Pirate King Hondo will pretty much get you 2 teams. All right, 2 teams for the raid to get to score really good score points. So right now, it's a no-brainer for me. Don't worry about Coven of Shadows. You'll get there eventually. You'll eventually want to get all of the Galactic Legends. And right now, Hondo is just looking miles and miles apart. Now, personally, my personal hope for this is that I'm hoping CG takes a look at the fact that we've got Coven of Shadows, takes a look at the fact that people are happy and willing to invest in GL Ahsoka now, and start releasing additional special events for other Galactic Legends that don't have them. I'm talking about your JML, your C, your Ray, your Slacker, you know? All these other GL units, JMK, Lord Vader, they don't have them. Let's give them just a little bit of love. One final thing before I go, I will say that if you do go for GL Ahsoka Tano, you will also be getting the Peridia Bros, right? So you'll get Enoch and you'll get Death Trooper Peridia and Night Trooper, and they have their own assault battle that is very, very good. Not as good as Duel of the Fates and more expensive to run, but it's still a little bit of extra, juice. But the thing is you can do those without actually going all the way and getting GL Ahsoka Tano. So it's not quite a direct comparison. All the same, I hope this is helpful to you. I hope it gives you a little bit of guidance. Let me know down below, are you going to push for GL Ahsoka Tano, or are you going to push for Pirate King Hondo, or are you going to say, screw it, I don't care about either. I'm going to do what I want. Scribe, you stupid and bold. Love you.